Hey everyone, welcome to the Fortress of Solitude podcast. I'm your host, Sergio Pereira, and I've got on the line, obviously, Lois Kutab joining me to discuss probably one of his favorite things. Am I right in saying that, Lois?
Yeah, no, that's an understatement, man. I live for this franchise.
Okay, cool. Well, then definitely I got the right person here. We are going to be discussing The Last of Us, specifically the brand new casting news that just hit the web and everyone's losing their mind online. I must say, it's actually been quite nice to see it being done in like a positive way. Like you're not seeing like a lot of negativity around it. Like, genuinely these casts like, no, it should have been this person, should have been that person. Like, yeah. It actually seems like people are on board here, which is like, I don't know, man. It's like, after 2020, everything is just getting weirder because people are actually agreeing with each other on the internet. My mind's blown.
That's so strange as you say that, because like I think from the Pedro Pascal news, it's all been positive, but I don't know so much about the Bella Ramsey, at least not from what I've been seeing. I'll give my thoughts though soon.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think obviously the Bella Ramsey one, if I'm not mistaken, it's been out there for quite a while, right? It's been like, it's been a while. I mean, I haven't been really keeping tabs on the news so much. I mean, I'm quite a novice to the Last of Us series. I mean, shock here, the horror, I know. But it's like, I just started playing the original game. I'm enjoying it. I don't know, I probably think for me it was just the whole zombie thing. I went through a phase where I was obsessed with it, like The Walking Dead and, and all the games that were coming out. And then after a while, I just kind of blocked it out. There was just too many zombie things basically to get into. But the hype around The Last of Us, I must say the game definitely, I understand why. Storyline is great. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they adapt this. And I mean, for me, Pedro Pascal, I think he's a phenomenal actor. So I think that was a really, really good. I thought it was a really good casting. I mean, for me, when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is really good. I mean, HBO is like really going all out here. They're getting, A-list actors here. It's not just like going to be, all right, let's just find who's the cheapest.
Yeah. You know what? Like when I saw the news, my mouth sort of dropped open for a second. And then I went, no, that makes sense. Yeah, no, that works. That works. Immediately I accepted it and I said, no, that's going to work.
No, it's interesting you say that because I remember like seeing some fan castings a while back, and a lot of people were talking about the likes of Nikolai Coster-Waldau, also from Game of Thrones. Right. There would have been, because they say his resemblance to Joel is like, it's uncanny, and I see it, like I completely see it. But there's also like, there's a different thing here which I always point to, and it's actually something that John Campy always says on his show, especially when discussing casting news. Yeah. And he always says that with casting, it's like which actor's actually just best for the role, not necessarily based on looks, not necessarily based on because of the internet, like in terms of like actual acting ability. And I think that Pedro Pascal, I mean, he's great. I think everything we've seen, he's shown he can pull it off, like in The Mandalorian, a different character. Yeah. Even when he was in Game of Thrones, Wonder Woman 1984, this guy's legit. He's like really a super, super actor. And I think getting somebody like him on board, he's going to be fantastic in the role.
Yeah, his trajectory is not slowing down. He seems to be really on a roll at the moment. He's kind of like, how like sort of these Hollywood A-listers, they sort of start on something and then they're just in everything, whether it's The Rock or Tom Holland or like whatever. They're just like in everything.
Yeah, it's so true. And I mean, the funny thing is that it's like he's been around for so long, because I remember there was like a Wonder Woman pilot that for the TV series it was supposed to happen. I think it was like 2007 or something like that. And Pedro Pascal was actually cast in that. What? The pilot didn't go anywhere. So, I mean, he's already got a history there, but he was already like been around. He's been starring in different things. We've seen him in different movies, like in different series. He's been around for quite a while, but I think now suddenly everybody's like, okay, this guy is the real deal. They're finally realizing how good he is, and he's riding, the wave. And I mean, it's quite frankly, it's Pedro's world, and we're all just living in it at the moment. So it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, 100%, dude. I'm all for it. And I think also from the Bella Ramsey, I mean, all I've seen her in, to be honest, is Game of Thrones. I think once I was like walking past the TV set and my sister was watching some kind of teenage series and I saw the same actress. I was like, hey, I recognize her from a much more kid-less friendly show.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting thing. I mean, I honestly think she's a pretty good actress from what I saw in Game of Thrones. That's honestly the only place I've ever seen her like appear in. I haven't seen anything else. And I thought she did a really good job. I thought she was commanding on screen. She really like stole the show when she was there. And I mean, the thing is, she is 17 years old.
What?
She's 17 years old, and I believe that the character of Ellie is going to be 14 in the TV show.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's much of a stretch. I mean, this isn't like a situation of like the OC in 2004 where you have like 40-year-old actors trying to play, teenagers, in high school.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those situations where it's like she's close to that age. I think she's a good young actress.
Yeah.
I'm keen to see what she does. I mean, I understand the problem is with Ellie. And it's one of those things with fan casts is everybody has like different actors in mind. Like Elliot Page. That was one of the castings. Everyone was saying he was perfect for the role back then. But obviously the age thing is a problem now, and we need to move past fan casts. We need to start looking at things like, okay, what is viable right now? What actors are good, and cast actors based on that. And I mean, I have faith in the show. I mean, it's being run by, I think it was the Chernobyl's creator.
Yes.
And also the writer for the games, the creative director for the games, Neil Druckmann, I believe he's also involved.
Yeah, thanks the Lord, because I mean, without having him on, I would be very nervous.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm quite surprised that, it actually seems to be all coming together. Like, quite frankly, every time I see a project taking off in Hollywood, I always say to myself, it's going to be a while before that happens.
Yeah.
Like you always see the news, it's like 5 years later, nothing has happened. I mean, come on, guys, where's District 10, for example?
Yeah.
I mean, we've been talking about this since it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, this is Neil Blomkamp. I'm aiming this directly at a dig. Like, I really want that movie. Come on, dude, get your act together. But yeah, getting back to like The Last of Us, I'm just surprised that everything is coming together, and it really seems like HBO is going, really balls to the wall. Really, they want us to get out there as quickly as possible, and I'm just surprised and shocked at how quickly it's happening. Yeah,
no, I'm quite excited at the pace that media is starting to pick up again, and production. Obviously with the pandemic and everything, there was that huge slowdown, and it seems like things have kicked into gear. That they've figured out, a way around things. That there's a bit of process that's now come into play. And it just seems to be moving a bit smoother. And also bringing it back to what you were saying about Elliot Page, is that I think there was, I think a lot of people wanted him as an actor, but there was some drama at some stage, like right in the beginning when The Last of Us, the first one, came out, and the likeness of Ellie was so similar. Apparently there was some kind of drama there, and then the likeness was tweaked a little bit, so Ellie looks a little bit different. But so I thought, like, for two reasons: one, Elliot Page is now a bit old, and two, I don't know if there's great blood between them.
Good vibes.
No,
exactly. I mean, I think that's the thing with these series, and I think sometimes, as fans especially, we hold on to a certain concept of what something is supposed to look like or how we want it to be, and we kind of close off. We put on the blinkers to possible things that can happen. And I think I always relate this example. It goes back to the 1989 Batman movie where Michael Keaton was cast as Bruce Wayne Batman.
Yeah,
and before that happened, I mean, like, this was like, obviously, I mean, when this movie came out, I was way too young to understand what was going on, and there was no internet going around then, and there was no I wasn't absorbing magazines and fan fights and stuff, but people were sending like letters to Warner Brothers saying this is the worst casting in the world, and there were like petitions going around. I mean, like real life petitions, like people actually had to do something. They couldn't just go to the screen.
People are passionate, dude.
Yeah, so I was surprised by that, and that's the thing. And when you look at the movie and you look at the role and how Michael Keaton establishes himself, and that's what I think we sometimes forget. These people are actors.
Yeah.
That's their profession. Yes, we see them in a certain role and we associate them, to a certain role, but it doesn't mean that they can't do something else. It doesn't mean they want to do something else. And I mean, I always relate this as well. Another story, Sean William Scott, who was Stifler in American Pie.
Yeah.
We always look at that guy as like, oh yeah, he's just, the big bro from the movie, and, toilet humor and, all these teen comedies. And in real life, like the actor is like, he's nothing like that. The person, Sean William Scott as a person, is nothing like the character. And he wants to do different things. And I've seen him in a few other different shows and movies. And he's pretty good. But the thing is, he's just been typecast as that. And I think that's the same thing that we kind of get with these TV shows. And that's why, with Pedro Pascal being cast, I'm pretty happy that people have just said, okay, you know what? He's a great actor. Let's get on board. Let's see what they do with this. And, the vibes are really good around the net, which is, it's very rare. And Bella Ramsey, guys, calm down.
Yeah.
She's 17 years old. Don't destroy your career like you did Jake Lloyd.
Dude, people are heartless. Like, I mean, she's a good actress. I mean, you got to give her a chance. And like, you got comments popping up saying like she looks like a me character from the Wii, and I'm just like, you guys are so mean. Like, I don't understand people in comment sections, man. It doesn't make any sense. Like, obviously, not everyone's going to look exactly like, the character. I mean, this, the model that was in the video game. But I think, like, she'll bring her own thing to it. And Pedro Pascal as well. He doesn't exactly look like Joel.
No, exactly. I mean, the thing is, as long as they do justice to these characters and the storyline, that's what matters the most. And, that's the thing. It's like iterations of characters. I think this is what people always forget. It's like, it doesn't need to always look the same. It doesn't need to be like, oh, but this guy's got blue eyes when when the character has green eyes. It's like, calm down, relax. There are bigger problems on the planet than, eye color or hair color. Or the person doesn't look exactly like that. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Because, like, you can understand people being protective over the media that they love or associate with, or, that forms part of sort of their identity. But I think there needs to be a limit, and there needs to be like a certain point where you just kind of hold back a little and say, hey, let's just give it a shot first and then go for it. But I think that's just the internet for you, dude.
Yeah, it doesn't end. Well, the cool thing was that I kind of looked at, because obviously a couple of people were disappointed about, with Nikolai not being cast as Joel. But someone actually pointed out something cool. Oh, well, he's not being cast as Joel. That means he can be cast as Tommy.
Oh.
Which I can see.
That's true. There's so many other characters as well. Like, I'd be keen to say, like, well, first of all, if they're going to do the exact same storyline, how they're going to change it. Because, I mean, of course, a video game, you say you're still busy with the first one. The way it's scripted also includes sort of what you have to do. So it's not going to be scripted the same way as just like a movie would, or a series in this case. So I'd be very interested to see how they approach it.
No, definitely. And I think that from what I've read, they've said that they're going to like focus primarily on the first game. Yeah. Like that's going to be like, the first season with maybe a little bit of the elements from the second season sprinkled in. But even the creator said, the creative director from the game said that the way he views this is that it's actually going to tell the full story better than what the games were, which I don't understand like how it's going to do. Honestly, quite frankly, I think that's just, selling it. That's like PR speak. Right? They're just like, oh, this is going to be even better than the game. Yeah, whatever, dude, relax. But like we know that's what they're generally do. But I'm quite interested to see if they're going to like be super faithful to it and adapt it like that, then great. And I think, obviously with the TV series, they got quite some time to do that. It's better than a movie, like where you have to cram everything into 2 hours. I mean, I don't know how long the series is going to be, how many episodes, could be 9, 10, could be 12, who knows. But like I think they've got enough time to kind of tell a really good story, and obviously if it's popular and successful, then you can move on to the next season and start exploring elements of The Last of Us part 2. So it'll be interesting to see.
And it's always weird when it comes to like video game films, like the payoff to try and get a thing of like making it valuable to the audience that love the games in a way that it offers more. It's not just like copy paste the same thing. You might as well just play the game and watch the cinematics. Make it accessible to new people who have never played the game, and still like expand. So it has to like juggle all these different things, and I think that's always been like intimidating for me. I had to think if I had to be in that creative room, like how do you hit all of those notes? But I think Neil Druckmann being a producer on it is going to help them at least hit 90% of those notes.
No, absolutely. And I think you touched on a good point there. Generally with these sort of adaptations, as you say, you can watch the cutscenes, but a video game, you invest, hours of your life into it. I mean, an average video game takes you 30, 40 hours nowadays to complete, like the main storyline without any of the side quests. So you get to really know these characters intimately. You get to know these worlds intimately. And now suddenly you got to take all this time, and I mean, I'm talking about obviously 30, 40 hours, just the main campaign. People spend more time on it. So you say like even, let's just say 80 hours. You spend 80 hours like with these characters, you get to know them so well. You get to understand the world, the ins and outs, the side characters. This world basically gets built into your head. Like you spend like a significant amount of time there. Then somebody else takes it and they need to condense this into a 2-hour movie or like, into a 10-hour series or whatever. It's suddenly like you start realizing, but you're not nailing this, you're not nailing that. Oh, you missed out on this. It starts being that sort of experience. And I think that for me, it's interesting to see how people do it. Quite frankly, I'm of the belief that every single adaptation shouldn't just be a rehash of what we've seen before.
100%.
Like, honestly, I don't want The Last of Us TV series to just be like a retelling of the game.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. Yes, you're obviously going to have to honor the source material and do certain things that, fans want. But if you're going to just do the same thing, it's kind of pointless. I might as well just go play the game.
Right.
That's the thing. I don't need to invest time into watching a series. And I think that that's the most important thing. I know a lot of fans have a different opinion. They feel that it should be exactly the same.
Yeah.
But no, for me, you know what? I just think that we need to have something new, have something fresh, honors the source material, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it needs to be something new. It can't be the same.
I think they can take the skeleton of what it was and just sort of pad it up differently, because it's been so many years. What was it, 2013? I could be wrong. Since the Last of Us came out, and even if you want to change a couple of details here and there, maybe the way that people meet, the characters involved, it's okay to switch it up, as long as, I suppose, it doesn't completely throw everything out of the water. But I mean, this is a bit of a tougher one because, like you said, they're focusing on sort of the first game. Whereas something like the Witcher series, was in a luckier position in that it couldn't be compared to the games directly. It could only be compared to the books, because the games took place after the series, after the books, it comes afterwards. So that's very interesting as well, to see how they're going to pull that off. And look, I think they will. I'm keen to see how.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's just going to be interesting to see how they build this universe. They've got 2 games effectively to pull all the lore from and create it, and I'm sure they're in this for the long haul. So they're not going to just 1-2 seasons. They're going to want more. So they're going to have to definitely explore it a little bit more, a little bit more different.
Yeah.
They're going to have to different areas to do certain things, and I believe that obviously, as you said, having Druckmann there is going to make a difference. Yeah. So let's look forward to it.
Sure,
I'm super excited, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much, man, for joining me.
Absolute
It's been
pleasure.
really cool. I mean, I'm super excited to actually see what happens now. I mean, I'm probably going to go play The Last of Us tonight.
Nice.
That's what I'm going to do.
Better late than never, man.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, like, I'll be like that person, like, I'll be like Internet Explorer, like, whilst everyone else is like so far ahead, it's like, oh, page is loaded.
It's the best. Like, I play game. I mean, I'm only playing The Witcher 3 now, and it's a 2015 game. But hey, it was much cheaper, and I've got all the DLC and everything. It's great. It's the best way to do it.
And you avoid all the internet chatter. You don't get sucked into it. You can actually just enjoy the game.
Yeah, you have your own opinion. Let me know what you think when you're done, actually. Maybe we should do another podcast just to unravel your thoughts on the first game when you're finished.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for joining me, Lois. To everyone else, thank you for listening. And don't forget to like and subscribe and let us know what other topics you'd like us to cover in the future. Until next time, cheers.
Bye.